How's it going, guys? This is Mouseball, and this is the Attack Mouse Nation and my salty gearheads. Welcome to the automotive side of my YouTube experience. And guys, it is my birthday today, and like all birthdays, they are times of reflection. And Mama Mouse and I talked about the years that we've had together, not to mention that the circumstances of the house burning down and pretty much where it's going to lead us. And obviously, this is the worst time for any of this to happen because we're not exactly in the best of circumstances. But you know what? When it comes down to it, we're extremely positive because we have a great subscriber base with this channel. We have a great subscriber base with the Mega Mouse 45 channel, and we love our cars. I mean, there's no doubt that Mama Mouse loves both cars she owns. She loves both these cars, my Corvette and obviously Mouseball. And the great thing about being a car enthusiast is that you can sink all your energies and all your creativity into building something that reflects who you are. Now, when I got my Mustang V6, it was a 2004, which actually had the new body style. You know, things were pretty good. I mean, you could pretty much say that I was breaking out of my shell. And that was in my mid-30s of all times. I mean, I didn't exactly come from a privileged background. I didn't exactly have a lot of money. And even though my father was starting his own business and running his business successfully for 14 years, we were still struggling. Because again, you know, we don't have the advantages of a lot of other people to know about all the ins and outs of business. So it's a lot harder for somebody to succeed when people are constantly trying to rip you off. And the thing is that we stood afloat for almost 14 years, and now we're edging on close to 20. And I can tell you right now, things are better. Even in the worst of circumstances, they are much better. I mean, I went from owning a Mustang to trading it into having a 2008 Corvette, which again to me is like a summit car. You know, when you get to a point where you were dirt poor, you didn't have a lot of money, and you know, the one thing you love is cars. And obviously my dream car was to have a Ferrari, and not because it's a car to floss in or show off or for the extreme clout, but I just loved the sound of the engine. I loved the fact that there was a racing pedigree behind it, that Enzo Ferrari was such an introvert that he literally hated the customers that bought the cars, because the customers that bought the cars weren't going to use them for what they were designed for. They were there for status symbols, you know, to scoff at those below them, the plebs, about how I own a Ferrari and this and that. And to me, I might as well own a Ferrari because my Abarth is fairly similar to one, you know, as far as sound, fun, you know, the way it drives, how quirky it is as an Italian car. I mean, these are the things that make being a car enthusiast the best. It has nothing to do with being seen amongst all the people in the car show scene. It has nothing to do with attaching a name to yourself in the car show scene. It has nothing to do with being a big name in the car show scene. What it has something to do with is actually enjoying the cars and enjoying the people who actually own them. I mean, I've been lucky enough ever since I've owned this car to know Mikey Turbo, you know, who by far is my favorite YouTuber, who is the person that got me on this rabbit hole of awesomeness. I mean, this car right here has literally changed everything. And I mean, the Corvette was definitely an amazing car. For 11 years, not only has it allowed me to meet Mama Mouse and have a beautiful 6-year relationship with her, but it opened the doors to owning this car right behind me. And on that very fateful day, on November 11th, 2017, I drove home this car with Mama Mouse, driving a stick shift for the first time, and watching my girlfriend laugh at me hysterically as I was scared to death, white knuckling it all the way home and not even in sport. But now I know this car so well. I've driven this car so much, and I've enjoyed every aspect of it to the point where I could not even see myself away from it. You know, the Corvette is the same way. You know, the Corvette is got this powerful attraction that just pulls you in. The thing is that with the Corvette, I didn't get as many friends, I didn't get as many connections, because the Corvette is kind of close to rarefied air. And the kind of people who own it are older people, or as in the internet culture would call, boomers. And they're not as diverse as, say, the people who own Abarths, because Abarths are a more attainable car. And what the Abarth actually showed me, and this is what the wonderful thing about turning 43 is on my birthday today, is that it's not the car, it's the person behind the wheel. And the person behind the wheel is the most important part of the driving experience, because it's the attitude you carry into the car and how you feel about your life and what the car does to reflect who you are that makes the difference. Because so many people will make a purchase, you know, based on what other people think of them, and that right there is the wrong reason to buy any car. And this is pretty much why I buy cars that a lot of people don't deem popular. You know, could I have gotten into the Honda Civics and the Preludes and, you know, the Accords and all these other cars that are monsterly popular amongst the masses? Sure, I could have. But then I'd be literally having a target painted on my back with people trying to steal my stuff and everything. And with the talent and creativity that I have the capabilities of building one hell of a ride. So the thing is that why put my car out on the chopping block for, you know, Joe Steal It to take it? And that's the thing. You know, I got away from what was popular because I felt like if there's popularity in something, that means that the mass appeal of it adds in the don'ts of the world, the dregs of society, the people who don't care about you or anybody else. You know, they're out for themselves, they're out to take care of themselves, and they're out to steal what you got so that way they can get things the most efficient way. And in nature, that is the most efficient way to get things, is to steal them. And that's the thing, we're supposed to be above an animal. I mean, you know, I'm sorry this is getting all philosophical here, but, you know, being 43, I've really, you know, reflected on a lot of things in my life. Because you know what, when you're at this age, you're getting close to the door closing on your life. And the thing is that you have two choices. You can either, one, decide that you're going to be creative, make people happy, live the best life you possibly can, and do the best you possibly can for those around you, and seek your happiness through the happiness of others. Or you can be a miserable human being who's stealing, hurting others, and trying to assert your dominance where it doesn't even exist. And that's the thing. This is why I spend more time uplifting others, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube. I spend more time shouting people out than I actually spend time putting into my videos trying to make them the best. You know, because I believe that my happiness comes from having other people be recognized. And every human being on the planet craves recognition. Every human being on the planet craves the fact that they want to be loved and appreciated. I mean, for anybody to say that they don't, they're lying to themselves. You know, everybody does what they do to be seen, to be appreciated, to be loved, and to be accepted. You know, whether that's the person working their ass off to get a Corvette like myself, or an Abarth like myself, or the rich privileged kid that's sitting in, you know, some gated community whose dad has a Lamborghini and he's driving it around and everyone thinks he's the coolest thing since sliced bread. You know, regardless, you know, every human being wants to be appreciated for something. You know, and that's the thing. You know, when it boils down to it, when you take all the non-essentials off, the true happiness that you can get from life is by actually making others smile, by making others feel good about themselves. And you know, so many people are trying to crack this code on life and figure out, hey, you know what? I finally figured everything out. I finally figured out how to live. And the thing is that we all know how to live. We all know what to do. We all know what mistakes we're not supposed to make. We all know, you know, deep down inside that the things we don't want to do are the things we should be doing. And the things we do like to do are the things we shouldn't be doing. And that's the thing, you know, I've really kind of looked at the way things are with my particular circumstances, with Mama Mouse's particular circumstances, and how we're basically starting from scratch. It is a second chance, you know, on life, a second lease on life. And you know what? Who knows where my 44th or 45th or 46th birthday will lead? Who even knows if I'll be around to see those, you know, years or that age? But regardless, I can tell you one thing. I will be extremely happy. I'll be extremely healthy. But wealthy, I'm not exactly sure about. But if you want to ask if I am wealthy, I'm wealthy in one thing. I'm wealthy in the knowledge that I have my girlfriend close beside me, who loves me and who cares about me. I'm wealthy in the fact that I have a family that is still with me and that doesn't lack one member. I'm extremely wealthy in that. And I'm wealthy in the friends that I have, like Mikey Turbo, Germs DNA, Alex Rowe Media, Michael Bojas, you know, Savicki, all the people who might not be in touch with me all the time, but are still there, you know. And there's many more. There's people that are very, very close to me that, like, literally I wouldn't be where I'm at without them, like Turbo Tom, for instance, or the Mighty Nelson. I mean, we're talking about great people who put themselves last and put you first. And that was the first time I've ever met people that will actually do that, that will actually put their faith and their belief in you and treat you like you're number one. And this is why I will always have this car. This is why I will always have my Corvette. And this is why I will always remain happy and feeling great about life. Because no matter how bad the circumstances get, people out there have it so much worse. And the thing is that I am blessed, beyond blessed. I really am. And I am so happy to be able to see the age of 43. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy. And remember, even though it's my birthday, it's not about me. It's all about you. Take it easy, guys. Mouseball out.